Yeah, welcome to the Ceiling Duty podcast. Back for episode 2 with me, Baby Pete.
Me, Uncle Jake.
And me, Glenny Goujon.
And today's a special episode. We have
Very special.
Very special. Today we have with us John Dixon, aka Jonny Dutch.
Oi, oi!
Hey! Hey! Big Dutch on brown eyes.
Thanks for the ovation, boys. I appreciate it. Massively.
Oh, mate, thanks for coming on, bruv.
No, it's no problem whatsoever. I'm going to warn everyone that I'm a little bit hungover. I'm eating Cajun Five-Guard chips, cold ones, like you do when you're hungover. But
Yeah,
I'm
love
there
that.
for it. I'm there for it. I'm looking forward to it, boys.
Love that.
Yeah,
So, chaps, how have we
well.
been? How have we been, chaps? Talk to me.
Not too bad, mate. As I said, I've had an easy week, mate. Stayed in, feeling fresh. I like you, fuckers.
I feel a bit ropey today. Not gonna lie, but we move.
We move. How about you, Glenn? How you feeling?
Yeah, mate, I feel rough as asses, mate. I can't lie. I'm not in great shape, but yeah, I'm ready for episode 2, so we can
Boy.
smash it out again. And then I'm also shitting myself about me firing the truth later with
Oh, mate.
Yeah, I've got a little question I want to ask you, Glenn. So be fed. Gonna out you.
All right.
Gonna out you, boy.
Yeah, mate. I think he's got you later. I think he's got you.
Mate, what about Dutchie's one, mate?
Yeah, I know. Right. Anyway, Dutch, we got you on. I know you're hungover. I just want to. Obviously, we're doing this podcast. We want to help a lot of people out there, with mental health, with this Men of the Hill page. I'm just going to throw you straight in the deep end, mate. And I just want to see, have you got any problems? Do you want to share anything? Do you how do you get through days and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I've got any problems as such. I mean, I've had problems. I think we all have. We've all struggled with down moments and anxiety and feeling low moods. That happens all the time. And I've just come through a broke up with my missus about 5 months ago with my ex. Sorry, about 5 months ago. Get into that. And so it's been a difficult, and with lockdown and with the industry we're in and trying to get things going and get music out there and
mate,
it's been a very bumpy 5 months. It's been a bumpy 2.5 years, whatever. But you learn as you get older, right?
Being in the public eye with the boys, the Manor. I mean, you've absolutely smashed it. I'm not gonna lie. You're a local chap from around the ends, and you've come from sitting there. We had a conversation the other day, didn't we? Sitting there just trying to push out music. All of a sudden, bang, it's blown. And I mean, for you guys, it must be difficult, as I said, being in the public eye, having to put that face on to show everyone, what you're about. But I mean, there must be times where you're struggling yourself, but you feel like you can't say anything. Do you know what I mean? Because of the situation in the industry you're in.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, because as I said to you as well, Jack, we've got a hell of a long way to go. But I'd say we're proud of where we've got to, and there's good things happening, and we've had a relative amount of success. But sometimes I guess it's the same as people that have to go in and do a job every day and having to put on a space to go and do a job. Anyone where you've got to go and be in contact with other people, and your job relies on you being a positive person.
Yeah.
But put on an act. So sometimes you do have to put on an act. So sometimes you don't want to. I mean, I do, because we haven't done a show and performed now for the best part of 2 years. I'm looking forward to going out there and doing it. But even when we were towards the end of 2019, when we had shows to do, or we had studio sessions. This is a job you're supposed to enjoy, and that's the thing where you feel a little bit guilty sometimes, because this is your dream and this is something that you do love doing, and you're in a privileged position. A lot of people love to be doing what we're doing, but mate, more time sometimes we have arguments amongst ourselves. Things are going on in our lives, which I'm sure we're going to get onto, and you don't even enjoy doing what you love. So that is it. Sometimes I suppose in some ways that is even harder, because you don't want to go studio. You don't want to go. It's hard to be creative and write. We write music about having a laugh and going out and
and you haven't been able to do that for the last
we haven't been able to do. And so it's like it's hard to recreate that when you're not in that headspace. And there has been a lot of
do you feel like what's happened over the last, like I'd say, year or so with COVID and lockdown, do you think it sort of changed your view on your music? So will it be different? Will it still have that same vibe? You know, will it move forward into a bit of deeper content? Obviously, being locked away, not being able to perform, not being able to jump on stage and go out Ibiza parties and stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
Well, I'll tell you what it was. And I think a lot of creatives had exactly the same problem. That during lockdown, there was nothing inspiring really happening. Really, like, especially if you, as I say, you make the sort of music we do. So for a lot of the lockdown, I was struggling to write. Dan was as well. Scott less so, but yeah, everyone was struggling to be creative and put stuff out. But we got through, and it was only when things like there was a hint of things opening up again at the start of this year where I got right into the zone and started being creative. And me and Dan got a load of music to come out. But in terms of whether the content's going to change, as you get older and you have life experiences, which I'll go back onto in a minute, you're going to make different sounding music. I went during when we in 2018 when we put out an EP that wasn't probably our best EP. I was at home with my ex-missus battling cancer, so I was in a frame of mind where it was almost like being in lockdown then, because our life was focused around us going to the chemo ward, going to Luton Hospital about 2-3 times a week and around that, and my mind weren't there. But we just signed a massive record deal and they needed music, and where I do sort of take the responsibility of doing a lot of the writing, I had to produce, and what I produced was a little bit darker, and it wasn't like the normal Manor stuff. But that's how life is. Sometimes that's how life is. We do now. The stuff we got coming is like us, is our normal stuff. Like we put out a track like Grealish. We got another one coming out in a couple of weeks, which it is stuff put on a rave or something that's everyone's gonna love it at pre-drinks. But yes,
but that's good though, because people go through your experiences. You express yourself through your music. You're going for that tough experience, and you're going to show it through your music. So I think all your fans will appreciate that, and I think they'll love it.
We've always done it. We've always been very honest in the music we've made. When me and Dan were skint, and Glenn will know this, when we were working at David Lloyd with Glenn, and we were struggling, we had Dan minesweeping, going out every single night, nicking fucking dregs of drinks from people just so they get pissed. We were skint. And when
I'm sure nothing shows there with Dan.
Yeah, I know, mate. Jake, you know. I was on a building site writing all my music, and I was on a building site labouring. So I was like, I had a completely different mindset at the time, but I wrote that. You got tracks like Monday, and you got tracks like Grafters, and all them tracks that we put out in the early days, because that's what we were living. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously when we go and make a little bit of money, when we start earning a few quid, then we start talking about, Ibiza, or we start referencing going Miami and Vegas and tracks. That's where we are. But the one thing we've always been is real, and that's being authentic is a massive part of what we do. And I feel as though any single supporter that comes up to us, like I was out in a rave on Friday, and I'll see loads of, it was so good to see, because I haven't had that for ages, but I was going around having conversations with all these supporters of ours, like from all over town. Yeah. And they know they're going to have they're meeting the same person that they're hearing on the track. And that's important to me, that they can ask me questions about a song and I'll be like, yeah, that happened last week. Or that was then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
110.
John.
But I was, go on, Glenn.
So I mean, we've obviously known each other a long time, and for me, I always see you as quite a carefree person, and like the lifestyle you live and the job you're doing, I feel like suits your personality, suits a John I know, but just so that you boys are aware and everyone listening, this guy's got a macroeconomic degree, and Trinity School, and he's one of the cleverest geezers I've ever met. So, I mean, do you think you're made to be in music? Obviously, you mentioned we worked at David Lloyd together, and I mean, I've never had someone work in my team or under me that's as been as shit as you.
I need to have a laugh whenever I do things, but yeah, go on. Is that it? Is that a question?
Well, I want to know whether you thought you was going to do something else, and you want to tell the story about David Lloyd. Obviously, you can.
Yeah, no. When me and Dan went to uni, and we both. Dan's even smarter than me. Believe it or not, you'd never know. But
you boys are this well, didn't you? Jesus, I would have thought.
Oh, Dan's a brainiac. He should have gone Oxford. Like Dan's like that. And we were in the same school. We were both like gifted kids. Went to a decent school. Then we went and got an economics degree. And then we fucked about in uni like we do. Got drunk throughout for 4 years. Didn't turn up to a lecture. So it comes to the finals exams, and me and Dan were like, we were looking at getting a 2-2 or something worse. So we thought we were going to end up with a shit degree, and then we'd have to go straight into work. Like, we'd have no choice. Our parents would be on our case. You know, you fucked up your degree. You wasted all this time. Go and get a job properly. We ended up doing both, getting somehow scraping 2-1. So we had a good degree. So we got a decent degree from a decent uni, both of us now. So we said, all right, sweet. Let's have a bit of fun. We bought ourselves some time. Let's go and start making music again. Because me and Dan have made music since we were 11, 12 together. Like, we'd always written bars. The first song we put out was a pile of shit, but for some reason, everyone on Facebook loved it. So, and then we ended up, went from strength to strength to then selling out things like the Beckenham. Like, remember the parties we used to do at the Beckenham and all the other things. And it was like, and we were like, oh, we're onto something, yeah, you know. And we had jobs. Like, I was working, as I said, with me and my old man at the building firm. So I was doing that, and then I was working with David Lloyd, and I was doing the bits and bobs to get. Dan was doing all sorts. And then in the end, in 2016, we ended up getting a record deal with Warner, Parlophone Warner, and that was like the big jump. We sold out Islington Academy, went and got the big record deal.
Yeah, but with them big deals, that's when the pressure starts. That is a big pressure. So how did you do from jumping from doing little things and then that big record deal? Was you up to the pressure, or did you melt a little bit?
Here's the thing: I was up to the pressure on the surface, but I remember when we signed that deal. I remember thinking there was a lot of resentment. I don't know how much to even say it, but I was going through some stuff at the time mentally anyway, right? So I was struggling with my mental health at the time, and then the what's the word? The adapting to that, the shock, not even a shock, because we earned it, because me and Dan had just made a mental album, and that's what got us signed. So we sort of earned that, but at the same time, it was like you get imposter syndrome, and then you start thinking, fuck, how am I going to cope with all this? Because everything changes now. Now we're in the label. Now we've got to be in Kensington. That whole summer in 2016, we're meeting new managers. We ain't got managers either, so we need to get a manager, record deal, and a publishing deal. We're looking at a fortune, a load of money all at once. I'm not used to this. I think, fuck me, am I built for it? Am I going to make? So it was the first few months of that was a big struggle for me, because it was just a big shock to the system. And I had this thing, well, am I good enough? Whatever else. But on the surface, I made sure I turned up every day for the studio. Dan went the other way. Dan, it was in a different way. It was a bit much for Dan, because we were used to doing things one way. Then everything changed. Now you've got a whole team of 50 people working on your project. Working in these massive multi-million-pound studios where we used to work in garages. It's all like.
Was they putting like too much input in? Putting too much input in, and you was a bit like.
To a certain extent, they were putting us in with people that we shouldn't have been working with in terms of producers. Everyone had their idea of what the manner should be, but as far as me and Dan were concerned, me and him had sort of run the project up to that point. So we knew what we needed to do. And then now it was just like, wow, it's a lot. So it was a difficult thing to do. And going back to what Gujon said about whether I wasn't always supposed to be a musician. No, I don't think I was. I think I like to have a drink and be out and have a party, but there's a stability that you don't have with music, which is what I sort of crave. So I do manage. I'm managing an artist at the moment. I will eventually start working with younger artists and developing them in some capacity. That's what I'm going to be moving towards, and I feel as though I've got a lot to offer. And there's a lot of good friends I've got within the industry where I can start maybe take a label position at some point and start developing acts as well, because I like to have that stability whilst being able to be creative and release my music as well. But
So would you feel like that would be a lot of pressure on you as well, having to juggle all of that about whilst creating music yourself and then looking after someone else and trying to pursue their career with them and get them off on the right path? Do you feel like it would be very stressful for you, or?
Yeah, no, yeah, I think it was. I take everything on board. Everyone else's problems. That's what I'm naturally like. If anyone's got, if we're all in it together, I sort of thinking if I'm, as I said, I take the responsibility for a lot of the songwriting. I feel, as does Dan, and it's important. It was important to me that we got it right, and it was going to be all. It would have been my fault if we didn't. So yeah, there was a lot of pressure. It was very stressful. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Period. But you adapt, and I feel as though a lot of people, when they get into situations, you take a big step up, someone gets a big job, or you get a big promotion, or you're looking at thinking about getting married or something like that. There's always that period of time where you're adapting. Your mind's trying to get used to what's going to happen next. And I feel as though everyone has that, and it's about knowing that will pass, and that you sometimes have to throw yourself in at the deep end, and your mind will figure it all out eventually.
How did so when you said you was going through a lot of problems when you were about to sign that record deal, and then you signed it. How did you get yourself through it? How did you get yourself over, and then looking like things differently, and then started getting yourself back on track? How did that start going?
At the time, before, just as we were about to sign, I did like 6 weeks of therapy. I went and saw someone to try and help, because I knew sometimes you haven't got enough coping mechanisms yourself. So I did 6 weeks of therapy. Yeah. I worked through it, really. I tried to, make sure I was out and busy as much as possible. I remember being conscious of the fact that at the time I was probably drinking and doing a bit of other extracurriculars a little bit too much. So I had to sort of tone that down a bit, even though that was the environment I was going into, whereas, like drinking, drugs are in abundance. But I realised that sometimes when things aren't going great, you have to sort of stop the drinking or reduce how much you're drinking and going out you're doing it. Or if you're going out, knowing when to call it a night, and because your mind's not right, it's not.
You slip into like a vicious cycle, don't you? You think you don't stay in, overthink about everything. Oh, I got this. So you think the best way to do it, booze, get it out of the way. But realistically, the booze just makes it 20 times worse.
Yeah, cool.
Do you know what I mean? But as you said, it's in your industry where you release the music, you've got to be out with the fans, you're doing gigs. It's just non-stop. Yeah. It's non-stop. But I know you've handled yourself really well, mate. And, mate, as we said, we all love the Manor and stuff like that. But getting down to the nitty-gritty, what is the best gig and what is the worst thing that's happening at a gig? What is it?
The best gig, it's difficult. It's very difficult. The best gig actually was on tour. On our UK tour, we I'll say it's this one. On our UK tour, we did, I can't remember what order it was, but by the time we got to Manchester, we'd had a bit too much fun, and some of the shows had started to tail off. We weren't giving our best performances, and I think our manager Rich had given us a bollocking because he turned up to our Bristol show, where we'd had so many dramas, like we couldn't, we had flight delays from Dublin to Bristol. So we got to the show 20 minutes beforehand. Everyone's fucked. My voice is gone and I do all this singing. I've got no voice. I'm going to stay. Like, it was a nightmare. So anyway, Rich is giving me a bollocking. I didn't go out. I was so pissed off about it. All the boys went out. I didn't go out that night. Then, so next week we had Manchester. And I remember I had a point to prove. And it was only a little small show. We've done like big shows, but I remember proving that point. We fucking smashed the life out of that show.
Yes, mate.
I can't remember what it's called now, the guy. But it was unbelievable. The crowd were unbelievable. We had a great night out afterwards as well. But for me personally, that's my best one. My worst thing of a show, and it is in some ways, it was a good lesson to learn. Yeah. In 2017, 2017, we had a show in Switzerland. We had a festival in Switzerland where at the time, Dan was drinking a lot, doing it was a nut job, right? So, and he had a little bit of a fear of flying, right, as well. So I've got to the airport, got to Heathrow to get the flight with our DJ and Scott on a Wednesday morning, was performing on a Wednesday night. No sign of Dan. Dan's not up yet. No sign of Dan.
Mate.
Well, about half an hour before we get on the flight, I get a call from Dan saying, mate, I'm not going to make this flight, you know, so I'm going to have to book the one after. He's with his ex-bird, I won't say her name. They got absolutely smashed the night before, like, I don't know why, but he's got absolutely smashed. He's in bed. He's sitting in his house, hot in Beckenham. We're at Heathrow. The plane's about to take off in 10 minutes. I'm going to book the next one. He then misses the second flight. So we get to Switzerland now, and I'm thinking to myself, we've got to go out in front of 5,000 to 10,000 people in the middle of nowhere in Switzerland, and we're missing a band, mate. Like, Dan's not making a flight. He's booked 3 flights and missed them all. He's booked 2. So I've had to go out. Our DJ at the time, I love him to death, but he's another mess here. His USB's fucked up, so we won't even have songs at this moment. I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go out there and do it a cappella to a bunch of Swiss people. So I've gone out on stage, but somehow it was an hour long as well, the set. We got through it. We had a good night. It was no one really knew the difference anyway. We had a few Manor fans over there, but no one even really took notice of it, and we got through it in the end. And that gave me, it was a good experience for me to go through, to know that I can cope with most people thrown at me. But fuck me, I was fuming with Dan. I won't tell you why he was forgiven, but in the end, karma did him dirty. So in the end, it was all good. I think Goose, you know what it was. Karma. Is that the
sort of problems that Manor have all the time, or is it just like, it always runs smooth?
Take it from me. Yes, it is.
But yeah, we have we're not the most reliable or organised, but when it comes to deadlines and getting things over the line, we'll get it done. More time, we'll get it done.
Yeah. Do you? What's the best thing? What's the best thing for you? What would you love about performing in the Manor? Is it alive? Is it the fans? Is it creating the music? Like getting all your ideas out on paper?
Yeah, it's the excitement of being in the studio and as much as I do love being out there and I miss it now, I've always been someone I prefer to be working on stuff and creating in the studio, and the excitement of making something sick and then listening to it on the way home from the studio and thinking, fuck me, this is going to do damage. Nothing beats that for me. Do you know what I mean? Even though I do love being out there performing, but I didn't always, because I have a massive anxiety before. It's a lot better now, but I used to really have like irrational anxieties when it comes to shows. I was always this thing about forgetting my bars, or I'd have something going to go wrong. So I used to get proper nervous before shows. So it's only recently I've started really enjoying doing the shows, and I do now. Yeah, I do proper enjoy it.
As you're getting older, you're getting used to it, stuff like that. Getting on a bit now.
Yeah, that's it. And I'm good at it. To be fair, that is, as much as I was always a natural performer. But if I was scared, shitting myself, I was always someone who, as soon as the lights go on and the mic's on, I turn into a different person anyway. So
and as your fans are getting bigger and bigger, obviously the gigs are getting bigger and bigger. So it's obviously only going to get tougher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, they are messy nights when you go to one of the Manor gigs.
Yeah.
Mate, what was it? Did you shut down? What did you shut down? Was it on the way to the
Brixton Nursery? After our we did a show at Coco. In 2016, we did a show at Coco, and we got a truck. So we got a flat pack lorry with a big sound system on it, and we told everyone in the venue, so like fucking 1,400 people. We told everyone, come out the front. We're gonna go and meet us out the front, and we're gonna do like an encore out there. So we're going down the street now, Friday night in Camden. Everyone's out the restaurants. Everyone's like, what's going on here? It looks like carnival. Within about 5 minutes, old Bill had turned up. Nicked our mate who was driving it. He was all right in the end, but nicked our mate, and we got in a bit of trouble. But we also got in the papers. We got in the Sun, and we got in the Mirror, I think.
No such thing, mate.
Exactly, mate.
Publicity, I can tell you that.
What can we expect more from Jonny Dutch in the future? The Manor, like, can we expect more music? Obviously, gigs coming back in now after that pandemic. So, is there more stuff coming?
Yeah, there is, mate. We got another song. We got a song coming out. I'm not supposed to say when, but it's coming out soon. It's going to be a little bit.
Come on, mate. We need an exclusive. For the
the song's called Brighter Days. I'm not saying what day is coming out, but it's called Brighter Days, and it's going to come out when the sun's shining. Put it that way. We've got loads of gigs coming up. We've got We've got a Pizza Express gig, which I'm looking forward to at the end of the month. We've also got loads of festivals. We're doing Isle of Wight, Southbound, Sundown. Then we got our Brixton Academy show in October. We've got headline in Brighton. We've got loads of music to bring out. In the
Isle of Wight?
Isle of Wight Festival as well in September to do. Which is going to be... Are you coming?
I got a ticket.
Oh, blinder! Yeah. We'll have it off that weekend, then, man. Don't worry about that. Please.
I'm not backstage, with a couple of Stellas on me. Then, mate, like
I'll try and make that happen. And in the long-term future, my aim is to start developing younger artists and being working in a label position to try and. Yeah. I feel as though there's a disconnect between the label and artists at the moment, and I feel as though they need more people that have been there and done it over there to help develop artists. That's what I want to move into at some stage as well.
Yeah, because is that what you thought? Because when you was coming through, you needed that guidance, but you didn't really get it. So when you see that,
you need people that are used to creating. I think there's a problem with A&Rs are the people that look after your project as an artist, right?
Yeah.
They're music people. They're the ones that try and shape how you put your album out. They need to. I feel as though A&Rs need to know how to make music themselves before they start giving advice. And I feel as though that's what I want to do. I feel as though, I've learned a lot, and there's a lot of wisdom to pass down to young kids that are coming through in terms of what they do. Because I've seen so many people fuck up careers by releasing wrong singles or doing the wrong sound, working with the wrong producers, and everything, and all the other sides. And then they're not understanding. They're being like, there's always these clashes between artists and label. You need to bridge the gap a bit, and that's what I want to do.
Nah, 100%. No, I know we've just brushed over it. I just want to go back because obviously that's when you was working with Glenn. I want to go back to the David Lloyd. I want to know if there was any funny stories working with Glenn. Can't imagine you and Danny Graff, mate, behind the jump, mate, trying to.
Oh, mate, they didn't want us
people through.
Yeah, man. I used to be on the tannoys spitting bars. Like, if you know the tannoys where it'd be like the swimming pool closes at 10:30. I'll start just rapping a verse like at the end of it. Like everyone was like, "Who's this kid? Like, what's wrong with him?" We'd have to remember. Was it the Christmas party where me and Dan? We.
Oh mate, that was messy, wasn't it? That was messy.
He got to the stage with Dan. He bunked. So Dan lives opposite David Lloyd. He got to the stage with him. He was bunking so many shifts that they used to come over and knock for him and say, "Just get up, mate."
The general manager come over his house. The general manager come over his house and knocked on the door, and his mum answered, and she's got his Dan in. She went, "He's in bed." He went, "Oh, well, he's meant to be at work."
He was like, "Oh, mate, he lives
out of bed." Mate,
he lives opposite and he's making late.
So, I was duty manager, right, and it'd be like near enough closing time. So I'm going around the club, like making sure the exit doors are shut and everything's like cushy. Then I've got on like the radio to John and be like, "Look, John, do the announcement, say like get people out of the pool and that." You know what I mean? And then he's done it, and then so he's done the announcement. He's like, "Yeah, check out our new." At the end of the message, he's gone, "Check out our new album at Dutch." I was like, what are you doing, mate? Like, anyhow, then so obviously the general manager's obviously fuming with Dan, like he ain't turning up. He's like, "Mate, why'd you get these two jobs?" Like I said, they're good workers, man. Like they're good. So I'm up in the office with him, and he's like, "What do you mean they're good workers?" He went, "Come have a look at this." And he's got the CCTV up, right? And it's just John booting this fucking tennis ball around the reception, just booting it around while this woman's waiting to be served. I was like, no, he obviously didn't see her. Like he's blind in one eye, like me, like. I was like, nah.
I got very techie with a tennis ball during that time. I was really good.
I've just got a picture on my head, like people saying, "Mate, you got any towels?" And then like in between the towels, you just put in a mixtape in there. Give that a listen. Let me know on the way out, all right?
Oh, mate, if you think I was bad there, you should have seen me on site. You should have seen me. My dad hated me by the end of it because I was even worse, mate. But
the Jamaican
I've grown up now. I've grown up. I take things a little bit more seriously. Listen, working with Dan, I've got to be the responsible one when you work with someone like Dan from backstage. You know what I mean?
Kind of blind, leading the blind with you two, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How you smashed it with the music, I don't know, mate. Like how you've got all the way there. As you said, how you're getting to places, I don't even know how, mate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's
Right,
mental.
I'll never forget them nights, man. Fucking go back to Dan's house.
Mate,
All of a sudden, we're still there
parties.
until 10 o'clock in the morning. House parties going off.
You're spraying bars, Jake, mate.
Mate,
We missed them, mate.
Jake, what was those
Jake
bars
in the
you
smoking
used to
area.
do?
He was doing F986s, mate. Not F4s. He was doing F986s.
Wasn't it like just incredible, just like Hulk? I'm incredible, just like Hulk.
Final episode of Ceiling Jury. I might have to give a little performance. Managing to bring you up.
Boys,
I think
before we get onto the real good stuff, the fire and the truth, John, any messages for young, inspiring artists in terms of how to cope with the pressures and the mental health side of things?
Well, I think the most important thing, and it's not cliche, but it's obvious, but it's not obvious for some people. Always share your problems. Always don't go to. I mean, some people like to use Twitter and social media. Talk to people around you. Make sure if you're starting something like this, especially as a solo artist, because I think I would have needed even more of this. You've got a support network. Know that you've got good friends around you. If you're going into the game, make sure, if you ain't got a manager, use your best mate. If your best mate ain't doing anything, use him. Keep a good support network around you and try and keep your circle, people that you know and close and that are honest as well. And that will tell you when you're fucking up, when you're drinking too much, when something's shit, when something's good. Make sure you've got those sort of people to bounce ideas off. Don't do it on your own. It's a music game. You cannot do it on your own. You need someone. You need a group of people around you.
Going back to what you've just said, have you found through coming through the ranks, through the music industry, have you met a lot of people that have just sort of latched onto you for what you're becoming?
You know what? Not so much. I'm a pretty genuine person, but I'm also very, very good judge of character. I will swerve the fuck out of you if I think that was even remotely a possibility. If I thought as though someone thought, okay, because you're gonna get more friends and whatever else, but how you then keep those friends is based on my gut instinct of what you're here for. Like I wouldn't say I've been fucked over by people. It just wouldn't happen to me because I know I've got good gut instinct. I like everyone. I get on with everyone to a certain degree, right? Yeah. But then if someone is a little bit like that, then I'll drop them out very quickly. So I'm luckily as well, we were a bit older getting into this, bear in mind. Maybe it would have been different if we'd been 18, 19 doing this. But by the time we got signed, we were in our mid-20s. So we experienced life a bit anyway. So you were more aware of those signs and things like that happening. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, but you as a young person, you've got to look out for that. There is, there's always going to be people like that. But I've never been a sucker for birds. Like if a bird, I can't get used or anything by a bird or by geezers that want to be around us that are trying to nick a pound note of us. So I normally see through it. But we ain't that rich anyway, so it might, I might have more. We might make more money, and that might be a problem. But so far, so good.
No, that's sweet. That's nice. But anyway, right, we're gonna go into fire and the truth now. So we're gonna ask a serious question. Here it is.
Ooh.
Do you know what?
What was that? Was that music there, or did I mishear that?
There's a little bit of
music. What do you think?
I couldn't hear that. All right, sorry, I'm stopping you. Go ahead. This
is legit, mate. Right, Dutch.
Yes.
Stay with you, mate. It's fire and the truth. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you one question. And look, obviously I've been told this, but I need to know the truth.
Okay.
All right. You feel the pressure or what? Do you feel the pressure? I can see him sweating. All
right, go on.
Right. All I want to know is what happened with this bird named Jess Glynn? I don't know. There's a
That's strong, bro.
Jess Glynn. The singer Jess Glynn.
Mate, I heard a little story with old custard cream one right in the face, wasn't it?
What happened with Jess Glynn?
Oh, mate, this is a story. This is a story I've been told from a source.
Mate, you were grafting her. You couple of times you met her and you grafted her. You were having none of it.
No, I said no. I weren't. No, I don't know where this story's come. To be fair, no, I've met her a couple times, but I wouldn't have met her. But I think she ended up. She was a. I think we find Jess might be a. She might be a. Prefer women.
She swings the other way.
I don't know what story I told you there because I don't know. I think we might have gone across. Like I thought you were going to ask me about someone else there. You know, when you said Jess.
Well, mate, if you've got a better story. If you've got a better story, then go for it. But I mean, I had this.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Let me tell you a story. Actually, one of the nights I met Jess Glynn, I'll tell you a funny story, which was. So anyway, this is our first Ivor Novellas, right? Ivor Novellas are like the music writers, song awards. They're like the Brits for music writers, right? So we've turned up at a pub, and there's all these industry people. We just signed a deal, and I'm doing what I normally do. I've charged up, had a drink. I'm in the toilet now. With a packed toilet, and there's all these execs, like really important music people, and me and Scott walk in. I'm having a conversation about football at top of my voice. Obviously, I've been trying to take over the toilets. I'm talking to everyone. Geezer's like, yeah, talking about, can't remember what footballer. And then Scott's tried to say something, and he's gone. The geezer I'm talking to has gone to Scott. Could you excuse me? Can you not see I'm trying to kiss this man? I've gone, what the fuck? I've gone, are you joking? What?
Trying to lift you up in the closet.
I weren't used to being, this is a thing about the industry, you got to get your head around. I weren't used to being in toilets and having a conversation with someone in it and that being a potential flirtatious situation. So the geezer's got, Scott's looked at me, burst out laughing and run out the room. I'm like, mate, you're a lovely geezer, but that's not my thing, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? I shit myself, to be fair. I said, nice to meet you. But like I said, you've got to be prepared for all different sorts of experiences in the music game.
What was he giving it? Was he giving it a little wine? Giving it one of them? Like?
No, I didn't even notice. He seemed like, I think the geezer was called Barry. He looked like something. He looked like West Ham. He looked like West Ham. He looked like
what are you telling me? This is how the man blew up then?
John was doing...
I gave him a notch round the back, and then that's how we got the second deal.
John was doing favours in the toilets. He got him to the top.
Yeah.
I love how he went straight.
That was better than the Jess Glynn one, that.
That's definitely better than the Jess Glynn one. So listen, Glenn, I want to throw something at you, mate.
Here we go.
Here we go, boy.
So I've been having a little flip through the Facebook and that, and what I remember from back in the day is, I've said, you know what, I had to put it out the bag. No, I don't think you do, Glenn, because I don't think you realise. Did you used to wear a bit of makeup when you went out? I'm fucking sure you did, boy.
What? You want the full?
I've seen some moody makeup lines around your neck and some pictures on Facebook. Little bit of foundation, was it?
Basically, here's how it started, right? So
looking for Mac.
It must have been like 15, 16 or something. And at school, mate, I was so pasty, right? Used to go watch like.
Nothing wrong with that.
Used to go watch like rugby after school, like if I weren't playing or whatever, like the A team or whatever, play rugby, and all the girls be on the field, right? And so there was a group of girls. All I'm saying is these girls were like they made up a dance about me, right? And they called me Pasty Warrior. And I'm not gonna name all the girls, but I'm just gonna say my fiance was one of them girls that was fucking giving it some, right? So they made up this dance, and it was like Pasty Warrior or some crap like that. So I was like, I'm not having this no more. I'm not being no Pasty Warrior. I'm going to get straight on the Johnsons, right? So I was getting on the Johnsons. It started with that, and before I knew it, I was banging on. I did, but it's, you know what it's like? It's like, you know, these girls when they start getting like their lips done and all that, I just got fully on it. Like I thought, I was wearing Drink Mac Moose, was wearing.
on Jonny Dutch.
Bro, I had Rimmel instant tan on the lot.
You say he's the West Ham fan? Ben comes in his high heels. He started with foundation, all of a sudden he's wearing a fucking dress and high heels.
No, it started with like the fake tan, right? And then I was doing this job like collecting cooking oil, and the spots I was getting on my face, man. Like I was so greasy. So then I was just banging on like foundation to cover up the old jelly tots. And just like I've got to say though, like Liam Norval definitely was the influence for the fake tan, I think.
Oh my
God.
Who's the lead singer of Culture Club again, Glenn?
Yeah.
Who's the lead singer of Culture Club? What's he called again? Who's the geezer who's just come a comedian?
Boy George.
Boy George. Boy Glenn.
Boy Goujo.
Love it.
Listen, if any of you out there have got Glenn on Facebook, please feel free to have a look through his Facebook pictures. Just see how fucking rascal it actually is, because it is terrible.
Oh mate, I can't wait to have a look.
Bro, my shirt.
Oh, your shirts are fucking terrible, mate.
Get in there.
Oh mate, there was a good fire of truth there, mate. All right then, once. All right then.
Good stuff.
All right then. No, basically, I want to say thank you, Dutch, for coming on today. Sharing your story, telling out about the Music Industry, stuff like that, and how the Manor are doing. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say thank you from all the people who commented, how we can make this podcast better. We'd love to, if you can like this, share this on Apple Music and Spotify. Get this podcast out there. It'll help a lot of people. And yeah, thank you for tuning in for episode 2.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Cheers.
See you later.
See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.